NWA, welcome to Power. A reason I'm boxed is because I just tried to record this earlier and I got a little bit upset, so I have to try and calm myself. Before I get started, I want to say this because this is what got me messed up in the first place. I heard about what happened with Seth Rollins on Raw on Monday. I know I didn't say anything or make a video, but I thought I'd at least say something now. Because I found out what happened. That it wasn't a fan per se, it was a fan / independent wrestler. He was a wrestler, an independent wrestler that wanted to try and make a name for himself. So he decided, in his great wisdom, to jump the barricade where regular fans are, as Seth Rollins coming up from dealing with Finn Balor, spears his ass in the hopes of being recognized by WWE that he means something. This stupid man, it don't matter if he's black, which he was, from Brooklyn, baby. As I've always said, if you never heard me say how crazy Brooklyn people are, because he's an independent wrestler, and I believe he is from Brooklyn. It don't make a difference if you're black, white, Spanish, no matter what. There are certain boroughs in this city where people act freaking stupid, baby. I was born in Manhattan. I've lived in Mount Vernon. I now lived in the Bronx. The only place I didn't live was Brooklyn. But my mama was from Brooklyn. And I can tell you that people are nuts when it comes to being from New York. Unless, like I said in a comment, New Yorkers are nuts. Unless they know they're nuts, that means they're not nuts because they recognize what they are. I know I'm a New Yorker. I know I'm nuts. I know that whatever attitude I have will not be the norm in any city in this country. Whether I'm a very mild version of a New Yorker or a total extreme one like that stupid motherfucker who decided to try and make a name for himself, jumping the damn barricade and spearing Seth Rollins, getting his ass tied up by security, escorted out by the police and probably get a jail time and a charge of assault during a freaking pandemic where it's hard to get work as a pro wrestler, no matter what anybody says. It's not going to be easy to get work. And particularly now, from what I understand, he's banned from wrestling. Let me say that again. The motherfucker, as far as I understand, has now been banned from fucking wrestling. Pro wrestling. No promotion's going to want to deal with him because he just speared one of the most famous people in the biggest freaking promotion on the country and in the planet. No matter if we like WWE, it is recognized as the biggest promotion and it has a lot of stroke across every promotion in this country and the world. If he does get work, it's going to be in one of the most minor promotions where he may only get $10 a night. There you go, you stupid bastard. Take it. Now, let's move on, which took me 3 minutes to talk about. Power. We got Hard Times 2 coming up on the 4th. Now, hopefully I'll be able to see it and do a review of it. But I gotta say this. This episode of Power was funny. Now, I know not everyone likes NWA Powerrr because it's very old school. They don't have a lot of the tricks and flips like everybody else, but it's good storytelling to a certain extent. And it does see it like this. They have a good blend of good pro wrestling, sometimes the new stuff and the old stuff. They also have good storytelling, and they also do what WWE does way better. They also have characters and some type of funny situations. Remember, real pro wrestling, not all the bullshit of ROH, New Japan Pro Wrestling, and some others where they focus a lot on straight wrestling. The reason WWE became such a phenomenon, I'm saying it again, as a phenomenon in the past, was that they had a decent blend of very good wrestling, damn good characters, and some funny situations, which does not have to be there every single time. It counts on when you book it properly and when the right time to do it. And in this show, this episode, we got that. Now, we got the national champion of a Chris Adonis having a match, and we thought it was against the Pope. The Pope comes out, but he goes to the podium and he says, hey, I gotta say this, baby. And also Billy Corgan was on the commentary, and I will explain that in a minute. But he says, I got something to say, baby. I got a phone call last week on Power, and a certain person talked to me, and he made it very clear, look, me and you are not always on the same page, but I need a favor from you, baby. Please, can you help me? He says, you know what? I got no problem, and I'm going to step back and let it happen. And he literally steps back. Nick Aldis jumps into the ring, and he is wrestling a Chris Adonis. Now, this is not for the national championship. It's non-title. But that does not mean by Hard Times 2 and after, he wouldn't qualify to try and get the national championship after that pay-per-view is over. That's what I think is going to happen. This is just me giving a little bit of prediction, because we're not too far away from Hard Times 2. The match was fine, and with a little bit of a Tom Latimer trying to interfere, it didn't work. He lost the Chris Adonis. And then, let's move on to Billy, who spoke, and he's in my face, with the commentary team of Joe Galli and the sexy Velvet Sky. He was there all night. There was no Tim Storm. Maybe because he had to work, because remember, Tim is still a school teacher. So he probably was scheduled to go back to school and to work. He had to work. If he still wants to be a school teacher, he's got to work. So, once he's out there, he calls out to Tom Latimer because he got sick and tired of him. He called his ass out on the podium. You see that. And he says, Tom, get your ass out here with your woman. Well, not with his woman. His woman came out with him. And she was the reason why Tom and Nick did not have that altercation now. She made sure with her bouncing boobies. Look, I really hope. I will get back to the story. But I will really hope those two don't break up. I like to see Tom and Camille continue in real life staying together. Look, it's not an easy life when a male and a female wrestler come together and get married or get engaged. It's not easy. If you can stay in the same promotion, it really does help. But it's not an easy life. There's always stuff that's going to be interfering with it. So I truly do hope they stick together and they don't break up. But as heels, I hope they lose everything. But she comes out with him. And Billy talks to him like a little kid. And he said, come out here. You want to work? Get in the ring if you want to work. Get in the ring if you want to work. If you don't want to get fired, get your ass in the ring. I'm going to count to 5 like I tell my son. If you mess around, I'm going to count to 5. And he counts almost to 5 and Tim jumps into the ring. And Jaden Roller, who makes me think of Tyler Breeze, the former Tyler Breeze, of Up, Down, Down, because they look somewhat alike. Unless it really is him. But I don't think it is. He gets in the ring and try to wrestle a Tom Latimer, which did not end well. He got his ass handed to him. Yes, he got a little bit of defense, and which was fine. He's still new there, and the question is if he signed or not. I don't know if he signed. Like Akilla Frost, as I call her, the Lady Frost. She wasn't signed, even though she worked on NWA Powerrr. I hope he signed. If not, he's being paid for each taping he appears in. So he got his ass handed to him eventually. And Billy made it very clear he was not happy with him. He just wanted him to do his job and wrestle instead of acting like a stupid idiot, messing around with a Nick Aldis while he did his match. Fine. I was all right with it. It's okay. We got a segment with the Tyrus crew and Scion. And I do quotes in Scion because it was not Scion. It was Clearwater begging for forgiveness, saying 111, 112, 130%, I am sorry. Because right now, Scion does have a shot at Tyrus's belt at Hard Times 2. So, was that good? Clearwater's not a very good actor. He doesn't act that well. I think he still needs work, but at least he is trying. One of the few times I've seen him do it. Mind you, he has a couple of promos beforehand. He has tried, but he still needs more work. That's just the truth. And with the talent in there, Tyrus is not great at talking. The icon of the Austin Idol is interesting, to say the least. And Black G's is Black G's, but this is Clearwater. He just doesn't have it yet. I'm just saying. Now, I'm moving on to the tag team match of the Rude Dudes versus... I don't understand why Kobe Carino, and I finally got his name right, is working with JTG. Why doesn't JTG work with Slice Boogie? I don't understand. You got one Bronx boy and you got one Brooklyn boy on the same damn company. Put the New Yorkers together and see what you can make out of it. The Borough Boys. I don't care what you call them. Put those asses together and see what happens. The banter between the two may actually work. But you got currently him, JTG, working with Kobe Carino, and then you have Slice Boogie working with Mache Rocket. Why? Stick their asses together and see if it works. And if it doesn't work, you can actually do a borough brawl between Brooklyn and the Bronx, baby. You can actually say, Bronx, this is a little situation. I'll make it very quick. You got a little situation where they do team up together. And then you see the little attitudes between the Brooklyn and the Bronx. Because Bronx, we do like to... I mean, I was born in Manhattan, but I've been living in the Bronx for over 20 years. And I know people from the Bronx, they love to smack talk like crazy. Now, Brooklyn does also. Up to a point when they just whoop your ass. Flat out, they don't play around, they just whoop your freaking ass. Simple as that. Then they do a little bit of teabagging on you, and then they'll trash talk you again. But why not have them together? They have an attitude. Eventually, one says, you know what, you just so stupid. That's the reason why Bronx boys are just dumb. He says, what? Who the hell you think you are, you Brooklyn Bridge? Or Brooklyn Bridge, or Brooklyn Bitch. And then they have a feud, the boroughs against one another. Something that's rare. Brooklyn versus the Bronx. Kind of like New York Yankees against the Mets. I'm just saying. Let's move on. Was this a good match? It was fine. Kobe Carino, he's cool. He's gifted. But I just don't see him working with JTG. It just doesn't feel like a good mesh, honestly. I mean, they work together, but character-wise, they just don't feel like they mesh together. The Rude Dudes seem to be alright, but they just don't. I'm just saying. Now, before I get started, I just saw in the advertisement for Hard Times 2 for the Junior Heavyweight qualifying match. And this is the NWA Junior Heavyweight qualifying match. Sounds like they're getting a new title. And guess who's there? Austin Aries is one of the first qualifying matches. Not Austin Idol or Ace Austin. Austin Aries. The first belt collector of Impact Wrestling. The first belt collector that felt like something other than Kenny Omega. He's going to be working NWA even if it's just one booking. I hope they signed him because Austin Aries is one of the great ones of professional wrestling. He has the technician ability. He has the high-flying ability. He can easily hold a promo, very entertaining, and he will trash talk your ass to no end. That is what I hope goes in the NWA. I hope he's signed. I don't know if he is. I just hope. Now, the final match I'm going to be talking about before the one thing is going to make my ass laugh will be Jack Steen and Plunkett versus a Crimson and a... Well, the champion really didn't do much here. The Trevor Murdoch really wasn't the key here. It was about Jack Steen. Because of how he was acting, Billy Corgan made it very clear, you're going to have this match. If you get pinned at any time, or counted out, or submitted, you lose your shot against the 10 pounds of gold. Flat out, that's what he gets. Because he has not had his chance yet to get that title shot. So this was about that. And he was just angry about the Corgan conspiracy, the Billy Corgan or Billy Patrick Corgan, the conspiracy he has. This was about Jack Steen only doing everything he can not to be pinned or submitted. At one point, it was kind of funny because I think Plunkett was a little dizzy at one point because when he was in when he was in the ring with Trevor, when he hit him, he actually slipped and fell, giving a hard punch. And Trevor's looking at him, and they all laughed. I'm sorry. Everybody on commentary laughed. Joe laughed. Billy laughed. Velvet Sky laughed. They realized that he slipped in the damn ring, and it looked bad. I didn't catch it, and I'm not going to catch it, but it looked bad. But anyway, this was about him. At one point, he ran off. He would rather get counted out than get beaten up by a Crimson who followed him afterward. And Billy said it clearly. If he gets counted out, he still loses his shot. But it was Trevor because, weirdly enough, the ref did not continue counting. He stopped because he was dealing with what was going on in the ring, and Trevor won. And pretty much, the Jack Steen still has a shot. So we will probably still see that at Hard Times 2. Finally, what I've been waiting for. And I don't even know if I'm putting any images in here. I may have said it a couple of times. If I'm putting any images, I don't even know if I will. Because of this one thing. I probably am going to put images right here. Kenzie versus Terrence. The social distance match. I don't know if I'm using that title. I don't know what title I'm going to use. But I'm like, why did it take so long for this to actually happen? This was the most stupidest thing I've ever seen. It went from, it's making me dizzy. You know how you feel when you laugh so hard that it makes you feel dizzy, like screaming, realize you see stars. I started seeing stars because I just started laughing so freaking hard. Guys, at first, I didn't know what the hell was going on. Terrence Terrell comes out as she does, and I will probably put images here. You see her in my face, coming out in her little skimpy little thing, showing those beautiful boobies and that beautiful face. She says, before she even deals with Kenzie, we are having a stip, and the stip is, and Billy didn't know anything about the stip. This is a social distance match. She gets into the ring. She gives Terrence Terrell a mask. She wears a mask. Then she measures out 6 feet distance, and then you see my face when they have to get in their pose. And as you see, I believe I got one shot where Kenzie Page really acts like she throws her to the mat. She's not even close to her. And Terrence literally throws herself back into the ring ropes. I saw that and I went, what the fuck? This is the most stupidest thing you could see, particularly when Terrence Terrell fakes poking her in the eye. And she had to sell that shit. Not even close to her. Was the most stupidest shit I have ever seen anyone do. And both of them did it well. Like I said in the beginning of this review, there are points where in pro wrestling, real pro wrestling, not all the damn holds, the flips, the kicks, and all that shit. Now mind you, those are important. You need to see true amateur wrestling. You need to see real good strategy in the ring and telling a story. But other than that, what makes a pro wrestler isn't about their ability in the ring. They have to have something to define them with charisma. Can they hold a promo? Can they talk? Can they express themselves? Look what happened with Austin and Kurt Angle. Austin and Kurt Angle could not work because their necks were still jacked. They needed time to recover. What did they do? They did segments in the back that got them over even more without wrestling. There are times when pro wrestling, the actual wrestling part, can be put aside and actual character development or funny segments like this exist. And it was stupid. No one's denying it. But it was done so well. It's like when it turns so bad, it becomes good. It was so stupidly funny. To the point where eventually Terrence Terrell knew this was getting old and tired and took a hand sanitizer and sprayed Kenzie in the face. She didn't handle that very well. She took off the damn mask, was ready to beat the shit out of her. She jumped out of the ring and landed hard on her tailbone. I don't want to see her actually get hurt, but I wouldn't mind grabbing her butt. I'm sorry. I'm an old man. I want to love somebody. But she literally jumps out of the ring, runs to the podium, grabs some water, and I believe I have a shot of her screaming. And she says, "That's it. We're done. You're supposed to follow the rules." And she does her little signature, "Bye!" And the ref counts her out. And she says to Kyle Davis, because he tells her she lost, he said, "I didn't hear it. No one heard it," and she screams and marches away. This was the most epic moment in recent wrestling history. You know why? Because for the first time, we take something that is really bad. Let's be honest. The pandemic has been very hard to deal with last year and this year. It's been horrible. But they tried to take some aspect of that horribleness and try to turn it into a positive, to make you laugh. Now, if you hated this segment, fine. I can't make you like something you don't like. If you think it was beyond stupid and it shouldn't be in pro wrestling, fine. That's your opinion. I won't take this from you. But if you see true pro wrestling for what it is, they take real life at certain points, not like WWE the way they do it. It's bullshit. This is done properly where they take one small aspect of what life is right now for many people and they try to turn into a positive, like a comedian will take something that is horrible, that's frustrating, that's disrespectful, that is racist or heavily religiousized, if that's a real name and a real word, and try to use it in a positive light to make you laugh, to take you out of the moment that you're in that is giving you sadness or pain. Now, mind you, it won't work for everybody. There's some people just going to be really angry about this segment or frustrated about it or think it's stupid. But for those who see it for what it is, that it's just a moment to try and make you laugh at something that's frustrating at this time or hurtful. Take it for that. And I hope you enjoyed this. I don't even know what episode this is. You will see it below. Have a good day. Have a good night. And watch for my Dynamite review. I might not put any images until the last match with Kenzie and Terrence Terrell. I think I'll do that. Unless I say it. I don't know. Peace.